The Bears have done a tremendous job in giving Caleb Williams the best possible chance to succeed. That's something that so many other franchises have failed to do over the years. And the Bears continued that even after drafting Caleb Williams, adding Rome Odunze with the number 9 pick, bringing him into an offense that already included DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Chandre Swift, Roshan Johnson, and Cole Kmet. And they've invested into the offensive line over the last couple of off seasons. We've known Caleb Williams is going to be a Bear for multiple months at this point, but he is absolutely a major winner from the 2024 NFL Draft. But before we dig a little bit deeper into the best landing spots for fantasy football purposes, I want to let you know that we have a free rookie guide at yardsperfantasy.com. It's available right now. It includes over 60 rookie profiles with everything you need to know about these players, athletic testing, college stats, scouting reports, strengths and weaknesses, and more. And of course, we are updating it this week with post-draft analysis of every single fantasy relevant player that was drafted. So check that out at yardsperfantasy.com. I'll link it in the description. No matter how you feel about the Keon Coleman profile, going to the Bills is an all-time good landing spot for the Florida State wide receiver. With Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis off the roster, and as Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir left, the path to a productive rookie season has been paved for Keon Coleman. Not only does he have little competition for targets, but Keon Coleman will also have the privilege of playing with one of the league's best quarterbacks in one of the most pass-heavy offenses. Coleman steps in as the favorite to be second in line for targets behind tight end Dalton Kincaid. He's likely going to spend most of his time out at X, which admittedly could be a problem if he doesn't improve his separation ability, but still his big frame and contested catch ability will at least help him find a role as the Gabe Davis replacement, a downfield and red zone playmaker for Josh Allen. The Chargers traded away Keenan Allen and they released Mike Williams. That left just Josh Palmer and last year's first round bust Quentin Johnston as the top wide receiver options in Los Angeles. And some speculated that the Chargers would draft a wide receiver at number 5, but they opted to wait until the second round when they traded up to acquire Laube McConkey. And with that wide open wide receiver room, Laube McConkey could legitimately lead the Chargers in targets as a rookie. And even though his production profile was lacking and his ability to command targets in college was questionable, Laube McConkey's skill set should translate well and be a fit with quarterback Justin Herbert. Laube McConkey is a route running technician who creates quick separation, kinda like Keenan Allen. I mean, he's certainly no Keenan Allen, but the areas in which they win are similar. McConkey will likely begin as more of a slot guy before expanding his role out to Z, where he can really take advantage of his 4.39 speed. The passing volume in LA is likely going to be near the bottom of the league in 2024, but Laube McConkey should be pretty high on the totem pole and is going to benefit from the efficiency of a quality passer like Justin Herbert. We're going to see a lot of quick passes mixed in with crossing routes and zone beaters that are going to get Laube McConkey open easily and are going to give him an opportunity to create yards after the catch, which is something he's really good at. His fantasy football ceiling is likely as kind of a low-end wide receiver too, and we'll probably get something in the wide receiver 35 range in 2024. We could not have asked for anything better for Xavier Worthy. He got first-round draft capital, and he is matched up with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid for the foreseeable future. This is a clear effort by the Chiefs to bring back a little bit of what they had with Tyreek Hill and to kind of thwart that difficult shell coverage that defenses have been throwing at them for the last 2 years. Between Xavier Worthy and the offseason addition of Marquise Brown, the Chiefs' offense is in line to return to the form that we saw from like 2018 to 2021. And Xavier Worthy is going to be a big part of that. He's not Tyreek Hill despite the comparisons, but there are enough similarities between their playstyle to think that Xavier Worthy can give us 75% of the production in the prime Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill years. And he may not be a consistent target volume commander, but he will absolutely have those week winning performances that can make a huge difference in fantasy football. Xavier Worthy is going to be used all over the field and he'll be especially dangerous on crossing routes in this offense. It's very realistic to think he has the third most productive rookie season of anybody from this wide receiver class. He now jumps ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. and Brock Bowers in Dynasty rookie drafts, and you should be drafting him as the wide receiver 4 from this class. The Panthers seem confident in Jonathon Brooks' ACL recovery. They moved up in the second round to make him the first running back off the board. And after the Miles Sanders signing a year ago proved to be a catastrophic failure, they don't appear to be ready for a second season of the Chuba Hubbard show. Now, it could be a slow start for Jonathon Brooks if he's not ready for training camp, which, given that ACL injury came in November, is a real possibility. If he's forced to miss training camp, there's a real danger of a Kendre Miller-like rookie season for Jonathon Brooks. I say that because with no NFL experience and no opportunity for the coaches to see him in off-season practices or training camp or preseason games, we can't really expect that they're just going to turn over the keys to the backfield to a rookie the second that he's ready to go. You know how NFL coaches are. This is not like Breece Hall coming back from his ACL last year, where he's already been in the league a year. The coaches have seen him in practice. They've seen him in camp. They've seen him play in games. And after they slowly ramp him up, it's go time for Breece Hall. This is a different situation because he's a rookie. I'm not saying this is the most likely outcome. It's not. But it's just in the range of possibilities. You got to keep that in mind when you're making these decisions in rookie drafts. Either way, it's clear that the Panthers view Jonathon Brooks as their RB1 of the future. And whenever he does get the opportunity, he's going to be a 3-down workhorse in an offense that's likely going to lean on the run game. And remember, head coach Dave Canales was the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay last season when Rachaad White received absolute bell cow usage. So we know he's not afraid to feed his all-purpose running back. Jonathon Brooks is looking like a top 20 running back in Dynasty. And if he's ready to go for training camp, he can absolutely give you RB2 production as a rookie. With the NFL draft in the rearview mirror, that means best ball season is here, and that means Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best ball platform, the best fantasy football drafting platform on planet Earth. If you love drafting as much as I do, you're like, oh, I can't draft too many teams. How am I going to manage them through the season? You don't have to worry about that with Underdog Fantasy. All you do is draft, and you're done. And you can win real money. So get on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code YARDSPER. They're going to double your deposit up to $100. Get ready for draft season, because when it's time to draft against your friends, if you've got a ton of Underdog drafts already in your back pocket, you are going to destroy the competition, win your draft, win your league. I'll see you on those best ball streets, baby. Trey Benson may begin his career backing up James Conner, but going to the Cardinals is absolutely one of the more underrated, good landing spots of the 2024 draft. James Conner is 29 years old, and he's played more than 13 games in a season just one time in his career. So Trey Benson is absolutely going to get on the field as a rookie, and he will likely start multiple games. And that's going to give him enough of a chance to prove himself worthy of taking over for James Conner full-time in 2025 when Conner becomes a free agent. And the Cardinals is shaping up to be one of the better offenses in the NFL, with the additions of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Benson to pair with Conner and Trey McBride as weapons for Kyler Murray. And that's only going to enhance the ceiling outcome for Trey Benson, as we know that good offenses are where RB1 seasons are born. Trey Benson remains the RB1 in the 2024 class and should be drafted no worse than the RB2. I know some people do prefer Jonathon Brooks, and he's a top 20 running back in Dynasty and a first-round pick in rookie drafts, regardless of format. Jim Harbaugh got his Blake Corum, and while he had the chance to take the actual Blake Corum earlier, Kimani Vidal provides a tremendous value at a 3-round discount with a similar build and skill set. Kimani Vidal is an all-purpose running back with the size and athletic traits to lead an NFL backfield. He runs hard on every single play, just like Blake Corum.
He's got great vision, burst, excellent contact balance, strength. Like, he's not a tall back, but he's not a small back. You know, he's 215 pounds, I think, and just runs through arm tackles, can make guys miss, take a hit, stay on his feet, great balance, strong, you know, like guys, DBs closing on him, punch him, you know, with a stiff arm and just keep going. But just that, you know, competes, you know, and also offers something in the passing game as well. And when you watch him block, it's impressive. Like, he'll throw it up in there against a blitzing linebacker.
Kimani Vidal was highly productive during his career at Troy, and he doesn't face major competition in that Chargers backfield. He'll probably begin a little bit lower on the depth chart, but with only Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, who's coming off multiple serious lower leg injuries, and Isaiah Spiller as the only running backs that are in the way, it's not hard to see Kimani Vidal ascending pretty quickly in this backfield. He really has all the makings of a breakout candidate from the later rounds of rookie drafts. I mean, we know the Chargers want to run the ball a ton. They've made that clear with every move they've made this offseason. And that opens the door for multiple fantasy relevant running backs to come from this backfield. And this could be a pretty decent offense with Justin Herbert at quarterback and a pretty good offensive line. So the fantasy points are going to be there. And I believe Kimani Vidal would do very well if given the chance to be one of the top dogs in that backfield. It's not crazy to think that he could have 10 plus touches per game as a rookie. And out of all the players drafted on day 3, Kimani Vidal is one of the top targets for Dynasty rookie drafts. He becomes a realistic option as early as the late second round. We're going to pick up the pace here. I don't want this video to be too long. So we're going to go rapid fire mode for a few other guys I want to touch on. The first is Roman Wilson to the Steelers. This is a great opportunity for Roman Wilson to step in and have an immediate impact in that Deontay Johnson role. And he can do a lot of the things that Deontay Johnson did in Pittsburgh. They both get open quickly and easily, and they dominate in that 8 to 12 yard range. And on top of that, Roman Wilson has more speed and explosion, so his ceiling outcome is much higher. The 49ers drafted Isaac Guerendo in the 4th round. I talked about Isaac Guerendo as one of my favorites coming into the draft. I love this landing spot. He's a great fit in the Kyle Shanahan offense. His speed and explosiveness is going to fit really well with their outside zone concepts. Obviously, he's going to be behind Christian McCaffrey, but he has a real chance of overtaking both Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason to be the team's number 2 running back. He's got the speed and explosion of a Raheem Mostert, who we saw thrive in this type of offense, plus the size and the power that they tried to capture when they drafted Trey Sermon. Isaac Guerendo has game-breaking ability. He's going to be so much fun to watch if he gets an opportunity in this offense. At worst, he's going to be a high-end handcuff for Christian McCaffrey. Isaac Guerendo should be a priority pick in the 3rd round of every single rookie draft. Tyrone Tracy Jr. was one of my favorite sleeper running backs coming into the draft, and he lands in a good spot with the Giants, who are devoid of backfield talent after losing Saquon Barkley in free agency and only replacing him with Devin Singletary. He's a converted wide receiver, but he's really explosive, really athletic. Only other running backs on the roster are Eric Gray, Gary Brightwell, Deshaun Corbin, and Deion Jackson. It's not hard to see a world where Tyrone Tracy Jr. winds up with a significant opportunity as a rookie. He's going to fly under the radar in rookie drafts, but he should be high on your list of priorities to target in the 3rd or the 4th round. It was a little disappointing to see Dylan Laube slide to the end of the 6th round, but he at least landed in a situation that's going to allow him to compete for an early role. Josh Jacobs is out, so it's Zamir White and Alexander Mattison to top that running back depth chart. Neither one of them has done enough to think that they're immune to being supplanted, and neither one of them is known to be a good pass catcher. And that could be where Dylan Laube gets his opportunity, because it's not going to be Zamir White and it's not going to be Alexander Mattison on passing downs in that offense. The only other guy in the way is Amir Abdullah, who's 32 years old. And he's Amir Abdullah. Dylan Laube caught 117 passes over the last 2 years, averaging 10 yards per reception. He's a great receiver, and he's got the size and the skill set to give you some work between the tackles as well. So despite being drafted a little bit later than we had hoped, Dylan Laube continues to be a late round target in Dynasty. I just want to throw this out there. Austin Eckler was once undrafted. Now, Laube's no Austin Eckler, but they are cut from a similar mold. And then we get J.D. McCarthy to the Vikings. He's going to be the QB1 there right away, in my opinion. If Sam Darnold starts the season, I think we see McCarthy by week 3, week 4, the very latest. He's set up with great weapons in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. He's got a former quarterback as his head coach who runs a quarterback-friendly offense. J.D. McCarthy is going to do well in Minnesota. He could have a Kirk Cousins-like career from a fantasy standpoint. Just consistent high-end QB2 numbers every single season. Then I like Javon Baker to the Patriots. He gives them a true outside X wide receiver for the first time in years. He could legitimately lead that team in targets as a rookie. Jaylen Wright to the Dolphins. He gives them a younger, bigger version of Raheem Mostert. And I know he's not a perfect running back, but there are not many teams that can get the most out of a fast, explosive skill set better than Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. This is a perfect landing spot for Jaylen Wright. All that's in the way is a tiny Devon Achane, who had multiple injuries as a rookie, and Raheem Mostert, who has a laundry list of injuries over the course of his career. And we'll wrap it up with Ray Davis to the Bills. Davis fits the mold of the running back that the Bills have been searching for a couple of years. We saw them bring in Damian Harris, Leonard Fournette, Latavius Murray last year. Davis gives them that bigger-bodied running back. He could be the goal line back from day one, and even with Josh Allen taking a few of those looks, there are plenty of touchdown opportunities in Buffalo. And that's it. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe. The next video is going to be about the worst landing spots from the 2024 draft. And make sure you leave a comment about which landing spot you are most excited about.